Hi, my name is Joan. In this occasion, we will be talking about Module 1, Module 2, and Module 3, their tests and their vocabularies. Let's begin with Module 1A, test, host job. This test talking about a smoke jumper, fire with perished in forest fire in remote area. It explained the risk of their job, the special equipment they use, and the long training they must complete. Even though the job in danger, they enjoy the assignment and the challenge. Test Model 1B UFO Hunter. The test is talking about Nick Porter investigates UFO sightings as a hobby using camera, telescopes, and interviews to collect evidence. Module 1 C. Test Cash in Hands. This test describes the part-time job that many American university students have will study. It mentions typical jobs like wait tables, working the summer camp, or doing internship. This job helping a student earning money, gain experience, and prepare for future careers. Next test is the Model 1E. Take a deep breath. Sarah Campbell is a free diver who can stay underwater for a long time. The test describes the hair training and world records. The next test, Model 1 F, Violent Tourism. This test explains the idea of violent tourism, where people will travel to other countries to volunteer and, and help locate communities. Example include teaching English, protecting endangered animals of boarding house. It shows how this trip can be meaningful for both the volunteers and the people they support. That was the last test of Model 1. Now we move on to the vocabulary of Model 1. Vocabulary Model 1, work and play. 1. Camp counselor. 2. Sergeant. 3. Yacht. 4. Firefighter. 4. Storm chaser. 5. Chief assistant. 7. Flight attendant. 8. Police officer. Next vocabulary. Module 1A. At work. 1. Artist. 2. Sport coach. 3. Taxi driver. 4. Nurse. 5. Secretary. Next vocabulary. Module 1E. Adventure sport. 1. Mountain biking. 2. Street lunch. 3. Motocross. 4. Speed skiing. 5. Windsurfing. 7. Free diving. 8. Paragliding. 9. Rock climbing. 10. White water rafting. The next, Module 1G, Vocabulary Student Job. 1. Video game tester. 2. Lifeguard. 3. Chopper. 4. Dishwasher. 5. Gardener. 6. Delivery person. 7. Baby sister. 8. Dog walker. Let's conclude Module 1, this test and vocabulary. Now we will move on to Module 2. Let's move on to Module 2, Test 2A by John Travels. The test is about a John Travel, a 19-year-old traveler from the USA, who shares an usual and funny travel experience from around the world. He tells a story like reading a top and off in O's card in India and losing his passport to monkey in Thailand. The reading shows the exciting and critical table side of traveling. Now we move on to test 2B Time Chance the Story of Google, Module 2. The test explains who Google was created by Larry Page and George Brin while they were a student at Stanford. It describes how their idea of ranking shares results change the internet, the challenges they face, and how Google went from garage project to world famous company. The next test is Module 2E Amazing Performance Chinese Opera. The test explains what makes Chinese opera special: music, acting, dance, and colorful costume. It also mentions its story and how impressive it looks and stitch. Next test, Module 2, Haunted Building, the Haunted City of York. This reading is about York, a city in England now for its haunting story. It tells a famous ghost story involving Roman soldiers seen walking towards a cellar wall. The death makes its story with mystery and invite reader to explore York's spooky past. Next test is Module 2, Social Networks. How do they work? The test explains how social networking sites like Facebook work, creating profiles, adding friends, posting photos and video, and building only communities. It also shows how these platforms let people share information, meet people, and stay connected. Having finished the test is Module 2. We will now move to the vocabularies and Module 2. Module 2 Vocabulary Cultural Story 1. Talking a great tour or Module 2 Vocabulary Cultural Story 1. Taking a great tour of museum. 2. Attending a rock concert. 3. Attending a theater performance. 4. Reading a classic novel. 5. Practicing playing the flute. 7. Watching traditional dancing. Next vocabulary is Module 2D. 1. An opera. 2. A musical. 3. A ballet. 4. A play. 5. A pop rock concert. 6. A classical music concert. That concludes Module 2 is text and vocabulary. Now we will move on to Module 3, Each test and vocabulary. The next test is Module 3A, Math of the Antarctic. The test is a reading like a blown from Math, a young marine biologist living in Antarctica for a year. He describes the freezing weather, the wildlife he sees, and the survival training he has to do. Will study penguins and live with only a small group of people in extreme conditions. The next test is Module 3C, the Appalachian Trail. The test describes a long hiking trail in the USA, over the 3,000 kilometer long. It's playing what hiker can see, the wildlife, and where they can stay while walking the trail. The next test is Module 3A, Climate Change. This reading explains global warming, melting ice, rising sea levels, and endangered animals. It asks what humans can to do help the planet. This test is Module 3G, Cave. The test explains who caves are from, what live inside them, and why exploring cave can be exciting but difficult. That concludes the test for Module 3. Now we move on the vocabulary of the same module. Module 3 Vocabulary Mother Nature. 1. A storm. 2. A blizzard. 3. A hurricane. 4. A heat wave. 5. Thick off. The next vocabulary in Module 3B String Outdoors. 1. Walk racing. 2. Ride bogging. 3. Volcano surfing. 4. Quad racing. 5. Boogie jumper. The next vocabulary is Module 3F Survivors. 1. Map. 2. Compass. 3. Rope. C. Sunscreen. Life jacket. Sleeping bag. Insect repellent. Pain knife. Torch. Thumb. 13 kit. Lighter. Rucksack. This concludes the test and vocabulary for Module 3.